Talking Kansas City men's soccer with the head coach of the Roos, Ryan Pore. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
As we were talking before we started recording, it was such a special season for your bunch, a program record 14 wins. You go to the Sweet 16, the first Sweet 16 appearance in program history. What was so special about this group?
I think what was so special about it was just the togetherness within the group. It was just a special group of players that bonded, and we knew that real early in the season in terms of some of the stuff we did with the team chemistry and not only on the field but off the field. And I think that mattered so much throughout the season when we were going through those peaks and valleys that we always stayed together. We were there for each other, and guys knew their roles and performed them at a really high level. And that's from the guys on the field and the guys that didn't play as much. They played a critical role in the season as well. And so I was just extremely fortunate to have a group like that was player led by a group of leaders I thought did a remarkable job. And so just a really cool season to be part of.
How do you build off this success going forward into next year?
Well, I think that's the $1 million question. I think obviously this is a little bit new territory for us, territory that we like to be in, that presents some obviously new opportunities, but yet some challenges as well. So we're just being really specific and not trying to reinvent the wheel of what got us here. I think we always, put players in terms of their character and how they play the game and how they represent our university and our community. We'll always put those things first and foremost when we're doing the recruiting. And the nice thing is we don't lose a ton of players either. So it's going to be a lot of guys coming back next year that were on this run this year. And so we're excited to get back to work in the spring and getting better those areas that we need to get better at and add a few pieces here and there.
Was there a particular moment during the season that it kind of clicked like, hey, we've got the guys, we know we can do this? Or was it coming into the season and that off-season training, you knew we've got a team that can do something special?
Well, I think definitely we noticed early that we had a lot of pieces that could cause teams problems. I think it was for us, we brought in, 14, 15 new players. I don't know exact number of what it was, but we brought in a lot of new faces. And so it maybe took us a little bit longer as a coaching staff to kind of get guys in the proper roles. Even current guys, a guy like Julian, Julian played a lot higher than he did this year, last year for us. And so we moved him a little bit deeper, but I think the point of the season, which was actually a loss, is a loss at home against St. Thomas in the middle of our conference season, kind of proved what we were made of. I told the guys after the game there, listen, I still believe we were a top 25 team at that point. I still believe we were one of the better teams in the country, and we had proven that. And we could have really went down two directions there, right? We could have really let that game really hurt us in terms of our chances to get into the conference tournament. But we responded, I think, with a few wins after that in the Summit League and made the conference tournament, and obviously the rest is history there. But that was a really defining moment I think, for us as a season. Our first adversity kind of getting hit there by a team that we expected to beat here at home, and give St. Thomas a lot of credit. They came in here and won the game, and we kind of had to reset our focus, and we did that moving forward.
During your NCAA tournament run, you upend St. Louis, you upend Missouri State, sort of Missouri state champions, so to speak. What does that mean, though, to this program? I mean, those are two storied men's college soccer programs. What does it mean for Kansas City to go on the road and beat those two programs in your state?
Yeah, I think it was huge, right? I think the reason I took this job is obviously Kansas City is a huge soccer community. So why can't we, as a Division One institution here, be one of the best programs, not only in our state but in the whole region and in the country? So that was really my goal when I took over the program, and it was pretty special when I got that, or we got to see the draw come out, and we got paired with two other Missouri teams. I think it allowed us to really, in terms of how we prepared for the games and go after St. Louis and go after Missouri State and really protect the home turf here in Missouri, and just fortunate to have that opportunity. We were disappointed in that selection process that we were almost 30 points higher than St. Louis in the RPIs and had to go play on the road. But hey, I think that gave us great opportunity and a great environment. Our guys played well in environments all year on the road, and so that was a special win for us to get started there in the NCAA tournament.
You yourself, you're no stranger to the city of Kansas City. You were drafted by the KC Wizards. You played for Sporting Kansas City. Real quick, I have to ask you, how much money did you spend on the Adidas throwback Kansas City Wizards gear?
So it's actually a funny story. You know, my son plays in the academy, so we're around sporting quite a lot. And my wife and I went to a fundraiser during preseason, and we spent a little bit, probably too much money that night on all that retro stuff because all that Wizards was talking my language. So we were able to get the kids some cool stuff, and selfishly, I was able to get some of the Wizard stuff as well.
I love it. Listen, I love the retro line Adidas put out this year. I mean, it was so great. As
Yeah.
you know, we've talked about this. I'm a St. Louis guy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, begrudgingly, I'll give SKC some credit there. But going back to you played for the Wizards, you played for Sporting Kansas City. What does it mean to you to be able to now lead Kansas City's Division One program?
Yeah, it means a lot. You know, I think you want to be connected. Obviously, we're in a different market in terms of where sporting is, where the current is, but we're also Division One soccer that plays at an extremely high level. And so there's a lot of eyes on our program. We want to be connected with that. And I think this run really proved that we have that ability. And so I think we re-engaged our alumni base. We re-engaged our community. That was a big deal for us. And so I thought it was always important for us to be connected to those other two soccer franchises that we want to be connected to. And so that was really special for us.
Your team this season was one of the hottest offenses, not just in the regular season, but in the NCAA tournament. You yourself, as a former player at Tulsa in 2003, second leading scorer in the country in 2004, you led the nation in scoring. I'm curious, how much of your tactical philosophy as a coach comes from your playing days at Tulsa?
Yeah, a lot. So obviously, Tom, the head coach there at Tulsa, is a huge mentor of mine. Not only did I play for Tom, but I got my coaching career started there for Tom. And we always kind of saw the game the right way in terms of not the right way, but the way we wanted to see it in terms of we want to be vertical with our passing, we want to go forward, we want to create chances. So really, when we game plan for teams, it really always starts with that: is how can we hurt teams with the ball, creating chances. Now, obviously, we have to adapt to certain teams and. So when we envisioned taking over Kansas City, and I have two great assistant coaches that bought into that vision, we wanted to play this type of style in terms of being vertical with our passing, playing in combination, being good in front of goal, and luckily this year we were just really good in those moments. Credit the players that we have a system in mind, but it takes players to fit that system, and we had a lot of really good players this year that did well going forward, and I think we had multiple guys with. I think we had almost 18 guys score a goal this year, and it's just a special year in front of goal. I don't know. I mean, we might get spoiled, but hopefully this is something that we can kind of build off of.
You finished the season with 9 road wins, 2 in the NCAA tournament. Why were you all able to be so good away from home? Because traditionally, teams are really good at home.
Yeah.
You have the fans at your back, but you all, as good as you were at home, you go on the road. And what is the old adage? Walk in your trap, take over your trap.
Yeah, I think it starts with we're really not scared to go play anyone anywhere, right? I think we have that mentality. But we also, I think the nice thing about playing on the road is we as coaches can control so much of the environment. We control what they eat, we control their sleep, we control their hydration, we control the itinerary. There's no distractions on the road. So there's a lot of benefits to playing on the road outside of the travel. And so my wife probably doesn't like hearing me say this, that we like to go and play on the road, but I mean, it was just an incredible season. I think the guys they just prepared so well on the road, and then I think it just became a normal thing for us, and we just kind of lived by, hey, let's go play wherever we need to win games, and really proud of the guys for buying into that, and now hopefully it buys us some more home games, and an area we have to be better is definitely here in Kansas City, and so start to make this a little bit more of a fortress and tough place for players to come or for teams to come in and play.
You get into the NCAA tournament. Denver gets into the NCAA tournament, 2 out of the Summit League. You both win multiple games. Denver's now in the College Cup starting on Friday. For those that don't know, how difficult of a league is the Summit League?
Yeah, I think it's always been an underrated league. It's extremely difficult. Obviously, with Denver in there and a tough environment to go play there and elevation and what you have to deal with there. But then you have other teams I think are just really well coached. The coaches do a great job of recruiting. Oral Roberts is historically, the last 2 or 3 years, they've been approached double-digit wins almost every season. Obviously, Donovan and Omaha, they won the tournament last year, and so he knows what he's doing in terms of creating a good college program. And then I think St. Thomas is taking step by step each year. I mean, it's a tough transition going from Division 3 to Division 1, and some of the challenges that he's had, but he always has competitive teams, and it's just a challenging environment. But with that comes some positives in the fact that we were just so prepared for the NCAA tournament, playing in a grueling conference like that, and I truly believe it allowed us to go in the NCAA tournament with so much confidence that we were ready to play at that level.
Delaware will also join the league as an affiliate member. Delaware making the transition up to FBS and in college football. They'll join
Yep.
Conference USA. That'll be interesting to see how Delaware kind of fits into the way Summit League teams play. I want to get your opinion on something about college soccer wide. You know, the statistics are out there. The data shows that the MLS just had its most attended season in league history. USL
Yep.
Championship just had its most watched league final in league history as the Switchbacks won the USLC title. We have the World Cup coming up in 2026 here in the United States. How can college soccer capitalize on not just the growth of soccer that we're seeing, but also what is going to be extreme exposure on the game of soccer here in America?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think obviously we as college coaches believe there's a great pathway still between the youth, college, and the professional game. I mean, I think if you look at a lot of the guys in professional soccer, not only the guys that are running the teams, but obviously the players. I mean, majority of those guys have a college background, and so I think as a country, I think the academies, especially the MLS academies, those were well needed, overdue. I think we're still in the infancy of terms of developing players here, right? And so I think we've kind of gotten this wave of, okay, now we're spending all this money on resources and on MLS academies, and we have to produce pros, right? And that's what they're there for. And we've kind of forgot a little bit about the college pathway. Obviously, we would like to see that be a little bit better marriage, and I think now is such a critical time. You have players that are coming over from Europe or South America or Asia, wherever they're coming from, that see the value in a high education and still playing at a very high level. And so unfortunately, we've lost a little bit of the Americans that see the value in that. But I do think that wave will trickle back down in terms of the importance of college soccer and what we can do and the resources. And really, it's just such a critical age development, too, in terms of that 17 to 21 years old. I remember, being that age in college. I mean, I wasn't ready for professional soccer yet. You just have some that were late matures or whatever it is. So I think it's an important time for U.S. soccer to get involved, to take advantage of the World Cup, all the eyes being put on us, and that way we start to develop better players for everyone in the pathway to U.S. soccer.
I'll let you be the definitive voice on this. Kansas City or St. Louis, soccer capital of America?
Well, of course, I'm a Kansas City man, so I will always pick Kansas City. But it's fun to have that natural rivalry again, right? Kansas City and St. Louis, two historic cities that I think they like each other, but have their moments where they disagree. But I've been to many of the sporting STL city games, and those are just fun, natural rivalries that I believe that's how you build the game here in America.
The Derby Q, I think, is the best name for that rivalry. It's so creative. Coach, thank you so much for carving out some time to talk. Congratulations on a successful season and best of luck into the offseason.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Jake.